Good morning, everyone. Good Wednesday morning. Welcome to Cheddar. I'm Kristen Scholler, reporting live from the floor of the New York Stock Exchange with Corey Hale.
Yes, hello, Kristen. Hello, Chad. It's another exciting day right down here on the floor of the Stock Exchange. Of course, you just saw the opening bell, and we are off to the races on this Wednesday. The Dow futures are up about 31. Not the futures now because we are open. The Dow is up 31 points right now. The S&P 500 up fractionally. The NASDAQ up 26 points today.
All right, so getting a little bit of a green breather down here on Wall Street. We have all sorts of news that we're watching today, and one bit is any new developments here today in the legal battle between Uber and Google. We know that after Uber fired, this comes after Uber fired the engineer at the center of a self-driving trade secrets lawsuit. It is one of our Dunkin' Donuts grab and go stories that we're watching this week. Uber firing Anthony Lewandowski, whom you see right there on the camera, saying he missed the company's deadline to comply with court orders and produce documents related to the lawsuit. Lewandowski declined the court order, pleading the Fifth Amendment. Lewandowski is accused of stealing self-driving trade secrets from Google's Waymo unit before starting his own company, Otto. Uber bought Otto then in August for $680 million, and in court, lawyers for Uber argued the company did not know about any stolen trade secrets and denied that any stolen tech advanced its self-driving program.
Well, we know that Uber had been pressuring Lewandowski for months now to essentially come forward with any information, but after he missed that internal deadline to hand over any files or emails or anything he may have had that could pertain to this particular case, the company did fire him. I think the bigger question here for Uber, a company that is going through a major culture crisis for a variety of reasons, is how much has this tarnished their reputation even further? I mean, they did continue to stand by him. What they did right now, they could have done a month ago.
Well, also, too, we should say this is a bit complex, right? So Waymo, which is the self-driving car unit of Google, Lewandowski, who has now obviously been terminated from Uber, he was one of the leads on that self-driving unit. Everyone knows the story that happened from there. He ended up at Uber. But anyway, Waymo, this Google self-driving car unit, is not only filing the lawsuit against Uber, but against Lewandowski as well. So both of these people. So Uber, it seems, is trying to distance itself from Lewandowski. Perhaps it's a case where Lewandowski might get more attention here when it comes to the legal scenario that could play out and then the legal situations that could play out from here. But yes, Uber trying to distance itself, saying, yes, we did obviously hire Lewandowski, but he hasn't turned these documents in. And to Uber's knowledge, none of this was used in its self-driving car unit.
I mean, a lot of times perception can be reality, and the fact that Uber decided to stand by him as long as they did, and he did miss the deadline, but that was after he decided to plead his Fifth Amendment right to not do any sort of self-incrimination during this process. It either goes to show that, hey, maybe there really was something there under the hood and Uber could have known that all along. Maybe they don't know what's there, but they know something isn't right. So to stand by him all the time, especially to your point, Kristen, because the lawsuit is not just against Uber, but it's also against Lewandowski, separately as well. But it's the same lawsuit that, why were you standing by him all this time if you were going to fire him in the end, especially because you could have distanced yourself from the entire situation from the outset, and the company chose not to do that. Not to mention, later this week, we are supposed to get the report from Eric Holder's team about that investigation very separately. It could just be a week of bad headlines for Uber.
So I think, right. So Holder expected, right, to brief the board today. We're hearing, and then also, too, I think, publicly that internal investigation into the allegations of sexism and sexual harassment is expected to be released next week. Other news, too, with the New York general manager leaving and moving over to Tusk Ventures here after drivers were shortchanged about tens of millions of dollars under his watch. So a lot of news about Uber. We have more news, though, to get to, too.
Yes, we do. All right, guys, the wait is over for BlackBerry fans. The company's Key One smartphone goes on sale in the U.S. today. BlackBerry teased the release of the highly anticipated phone for about 6 months now. The phone runs Android software and, of course, has the physical keyboard BlackBerry users so dearly love. The Key One is available today on Amazon or select Best Buy stores for $550. You're seeing that chart right there of BlackBerry. I mean, in the past year, the stock is up nearly 50% and seems to be climbing. However, the news is not all that positive. Shares of BlackBerry, they did take a dip yesterday, but you see today the shares are rebounding. But that was, of course, after analysts at Raymond James actually downgrading the stock. But as I mentioned, the shares are up around 50% in the past year.
We looked at this key one on set not too long ago, actually, just a few months ago, and it still does. I mean, for all of those people that are nostalgic for that keyboard, I mean, this is what you can get for it, right? And it looks a bit like kind of, it's stepped into the new century here, or stepped into modern day, I guess, with a combination of some of the features that you see on a Samsung, on an Apple iPhone as well, but still with that iconic keyboard.
I love the keyboard. I miss it.
All right, in other news, Apple is setting a release date for its Carpool Karaoke series. The show will debut on August 8th on Apple Music, according to a tweet from iTunes chief Eddie Q. The project is Apple's biggest original series to date, and Apple's version of the hit sketch will replace host James Corden with a rotating series of guest stars. ... The first season will feature 16 episodes and have appearances by Will Smith, Alicia Keys, Ariana Grande, Metallica, and Shaquille O'Neal.
Wow.
The show was scheduled to launch in April, but was delayed for undisclosed reasons. There you see Shaq on the screen right there. A little bit of a teaser.
Which is a very good teaser. Oh, that's funny. That Mike Epps and a laundromat. Well, it seems at this point Apple is definitely interested in augmenting Apple Music as it stands, to look to better compete with the likes of Spotify, a company that is slated to go public later this year or early next year. I mean, this is really their kind of next evolution, their next step, and really bringing Apple Music and content to its next level. Of course, you think about the video streaming giant Netflix and what they've been able to do in terms of the original content side. I think it's going to have to boil down, though, a little bit to how much of an appetite do people have to be able to want to actually watch this on a regular daily basis. I mean, it's so much fun when James Corden does it, because he doesn't do it every day. And James Corden himself is funny, so perhaps we'll have to see how this really plays out for Apple.
You can watch it on demand, right? I think it's one of these series that has a little bit of longevity in it.
Right. Okay. All right, guys, coming up, how prepared are you to travel abroad? We'll talk to a woman who has made it her life's mission to keep U.S. citizens safe while traveling. We'll be right back.